Hi guys, welcome back to Father and Son Investing. I want to do just a quick update today about Nanox. We're going to talk about what's going on with their FDA submission. I've been getting requests for an update, what's happening. The goal of today's video is going to be to explain to you what's going on with that FDA submission and to help you understand what the current timeline looks like. Now, I don't have any insider information. What I've learned about this process is just from reviewing the FDA's materials as well as looking at Nanox's announcement. So let's just turn to the announcement first. This is what Nanox submitted to the SEC. They state that on January 12th, it has submitted with the Food and Drug Administration, otherwise known as the FDA, a Q submission. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering what is a Q submission. For the second version of the company's multi-source Nanox Arc 3D tomosynthesis imaging system. This version of the Nanox Arc is an improved and enhanced version that was designed, among other things, to address certain deficiencies raised by the FDA during their review of the earlier submission from June of 2021, which was withdrawn to enable the Q submission. All right, what information do we get out of this? Well, first of all, that FDA submission from 2021, June of 2021, has been withdrawn. I know everyone was expecting this 180-day timeline from the time that they had some requests for more information made about August of 2021. That's all out the window now because that whole 510K submission has been withdrawn by Nanox. Now, why did they do that? There's some key wording in here, and what I get out of this points me towards a specific type of Q submission, and I'll go over that Q submission process here in a minute. But I want to highlight the key wording here, and it says, among other things, to address certain deficiencies raised by the FDA during their review. All right, we're going to turn our attention now to this Q submission program. What is it? I think of this just as a way of being able to ask questions to the FDA and get feedback. This is what they say. This is from the FDA slide set. Q submission program provides a mechanism to request interactions with the FDA related to medical device submissions. But again, I think of it as ask questions, get feedback. Now, there are a number of different types of Q submissions, but really the most common types, the 5 most common types are listed up here. This is a pre-submission written feedback, pre-submission meeting request, so similar, but one you're getting written feedback, one you're asking for a meeting. You can subsequently ask for some other if you get written feedback, it is possible to request a meeting as well. Submission issue requests, otherwise known as SIR, S-I-R, informational meetings, and study risk determinations. Now, I don't want to go over all 5 of these because I don't think they're really going to be applicable to this Q submission that Nanox made, but I do want to talk about this particular one, submission issue requests. Now, why is it that I want to talk about the submission issue requests? Because of the wording in here and because of the wording of that Nanox announcement on January 12th, we're going to come to this particular bullet here, discuss approach to address deficiencies in formal response. I think, this is just speculation on my part, but I think this is the type of Q submission that we might be dealing with Nanox. Now, let's just look at some timeline things to help us understand just how long might this additional Q submission process take. So depending on the type of Q submission that was submitted, there are some different timelines going on. Pre-submission meeting, they aim to get that review acceptance done by day 15, schedule a meeting by day 30, and have written feedback 5 days before the meeting or day 70, whichever is sooner. When it's just pre-submission for written feedback, same RTA date, and they're looking to get the written feedback by 70 days. Now, when we get down to the submission issue requests, or again, SIR, S-I-R, the timeline is slightly different, and there are 2 different tiers here. I'll explain these tiers based on the question and answer period after this slide set was presented. So, if this type of Q submission was performed less than 60 days after the FDA had sent a letter back to a submitter, well, then the goal review time will be within 21 days. If it has been more than 60 days since the FDA sent a letter back to the submitter, which is usually the company, in this case Nanox, then it will be 70 days as a review time. Why the difference, 21 days versus 70 days? Well, it really has to do with how fresh in the mind of the reviewers the particular topic is. So if it's been less than 60 days, the FDA assumes that the reviewers will still be current or sort of remember what it was that they had talked about and reviewed as a team of reviewers. When it's been more than 60 days, then the FDA assumes that it will take time for those reviewers to get back up to speed on the topic, and thus they have a goal review time of 70 days. This is also really going to encourage the companies that are submitting these Q submissions to get this done quickly so that they don't drag their feet for an additional almost 50 days. All right, so hopefully that gives you some awareness as to what to expect with this FDA Q submission, and understand that this is not the 510K submissions. So even after they get their questions answered by the FDA, well, then we're starting to deal with a 510K submission again. Now let's just provide other updates that are happening with the company. First of all, Erez Meltzer took over as CEO in January. I think this is a good thing. Mr. Meltzer previously was the chairman of the board of Hadassah Medical Center in Israel for 6 years, so he comes with a medical background there in terms of leading medical companies, and he also has experience leading other types of companies, including chemicals and shipping. What else has happened with the company? Well, Nanox announced that Zebra Medical, which they incorporated into Nanox, becoming Nanox AI, received another CPT code. Again, that's a billing code that a company can use to bill an insurance company for payment for the service. So in this case, Nanox now has a CPT code for coronary artery calcium detection. That CPT code will take effect July 1st, 2022. Of course, once a CPT code exists and providers can bill for things, really they're probably a little bit more likely to use them. So we might see that Zebra or Nanox AI here starts to get a little bit more revenue going as this code goes into effect. All right, that's all I have for you today as an update for Nanox. Please know that in March, Nanox will be doing their fourth quarter results presentation, so we will be waiting for that. And otherwise, until next time, enjoy your investing.